This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, everyone. I am Rajni Jain. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, I like to welcome you all to this online meeting. Please take a moment to review the guidelines for this online meeting posted in the chat window. I now request the moderator, Mr. Lakshmipati, to introduce the speaker and start the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rajini. Good evening, everyone. I am Lakshmipati. I will be moderating this meeting. Agricultureinformation.com likes to welcome to this meeting Dr. P. Manivel, the Principal Scientist and Head of ICAR-CTRI Research Station, Vedasandur, Dindigul District, Tamil Nadu. Dr. Manivel will be speaking on the topic, Everything About Ashwagandha. I now request the speaker to begin.
Good morning. Good afternoon to all of you, sir.
Good
Am
afternoon,
audible?
sir. Yes, sir, you are quite audible.
Okay. First of all, I express my sincere thanks to the organizers for giving chance to interact with you. Basically, I am a plant breeder working in scientist in Indian Council of Agriculture Research. I have around 27 years of research experience in different places in Gujarat, Himachal Pradesh, and now in Tamil Nadu. Worked in different crops like groundnut, potato, medicinal plants, and now I am working with commercial crops. So I have 14 to 15 years of research experience with this particular crop, that is ashwagandha, Titania somnifera, Indian ashwagandha. It is in the international market. So this is the one of the medicinal plant now becoming like a hero of all the medicinal plants after the COVID situation because of the many reasons. Just I can introduce this crop, that this particular crop is having multiple functions in our body. First of all, it is having antioxidant property. That's a one major requirement for a human being to have the sufficient supply of oxygen. Secondly, it is having adaptogen property. That is, it helps to balance our body function via the neurotransmitters of the brain. So it keeps the balanced brain. So as a result, we'll be having a balanced mind. That is, stress is very much reduced if you are taking this particular herb regularly. And it is also having the aphrodisiac action. That is like a sexual stimulant like Viagra. And apart from that, it is having anti-inflammatory function, and it controls, prevents ulcer, even it prevents cancer, and some extent it takes care of the venom toxins, more particularly liver tonic. So then the bacterial infection on our body or other things, and finally astringent. The list is not limited. It has more than 30
Dr. Manivel, participants, are you all able to hear him?
high level of demand, and it is not a new crop or new species for India. It is being cultivated in India for more than 800 years, and it is being used in medicine for more than thousands of years since the period of Agastya Muni, one among the 18 sadhus of India. So considering this importance and the chemical present in this particular things are having multiple functions, and it is being used in all the systems of medicines like Siddha, Unani, Ayurveda, and also the modern medicines. So basically whenever there is a demand is increasing for a particular crop, the collection from the wild is restricted, then people will definitely go for harvesting from the cultivating by the natural cultivating by the farmer's field, apart from the natural collections. So this particular crop is having a different type of things. It has both annual as well as perennial types. The annual type is being cultivated nowadays. In the Siddha Vaidya, both annual and perennial are separately used. Some Vaidyas prefers perennial one, that is permanently available in the wild. Some cases people use for the cultivated sources, but almost more than 90% will be comes from the cultivated source. So some basic information about this particular crop I was given here. When it is anthesis about morning 9 to 11 a.m. It is a Solanaceae family crop. The pollen is highly viable, so it always mostly self-pollinated crop. So ovules having about 29 to 53. That means from one single berry we can get up to 55 to seeds. This particular crop, if you see, many chemicals are available in this, and first group of chemical is alkalides, and second one is vithanolides. In alkalides also there are anaphyrin, vithanine, chlorphene. There are many chemicals which is available in this. As I already said, more than 18 is already identified. Now recently, after the thorough chemical analysis, there are some minor more corrections. More than about 36 has been identified. So apart from that, alkalides, lactones are also available, and these are the vithanolides, vithaphyrins, vithaphyrine A, vithanine. So every chemical has its own properties. As I was mentioning in the second slide, that it has a multiple purpose of this one. So one single plant with this much amount of secondary metabolites looking or taking care of most of the common problems of a human being is this one. So similar type of plants are already available, and one such plant is called Chinese ginseng. So in the international market, equal to this particular crop, Chinese ginseng was playing a major role, and it is being advertised very nicely, and it has been taken care by the world market in the supply chain. However, during this COVID situation, if you consider the major issues, that is antioxidant, very important, liver tonic, another important for the COVID, and as well as for this immune system development, keeping the mind balanced. So many symptoms of COVID-19 has been taken care by this single herb, and sometimes in combination with the different herbs increases the immunity and boosting the human beings to the saving, you can say life-saving herb, like that it has come. Some extent the Chinese ginseng has some amount of or some unwanted or effects on the people. So immediately the researchers shifting from Chinese ginseng to the Indian ashwagandha. It has been proved well that it is having a taking care of COVID situation, and there was a MOU between the Indian government and London government, British government, and they took 2000 samples of passengers of COVID-19 and given ashwagandha as a single treatment and a normal treatment. The recovery rate was very faster in while when we are giving the ashwagandha as things. So as a result, the confirmation of this result is further increase the demand of ashwagandha worldwide and also in the local demand. So this is the gift, and here I will talk about one word is called chemotype. Then in later slides I will discuss about that one. What is that chemotype and how it is being used? This particular crop is distributed in these parts of the world. And there are two species in this Withania. That is, one is called Withania somnifera. That is our ashwagandha. In Tamil, it is called amukra. Whereas the another species is called Withania coagulans. And the very and different. This is called sometimes. If you take the seeds into milk, it will coagulate the milk and make paneer. So people are using for that purpose also. So for that reason, it has been given as a coagulants. And for paneer making, butter making, this particular species used. And this species is mainly distributed on the American, particularly in the South America. Some parts in Australia, somewhere in the Asia. Whereas the Withania somnifera is native of India, and it is being distributed in this particular area where Africa, then Turkey and Pakistan and some portion of this Middle East. So India is the major cultivating country in the world as on today. But now the crop is getting importance. The cultivation might have been started in these countries also. Further, even in USA, United States of America, they have taken a trial in this year using this particular species. So this particular crop involves many peoples into one group, that is researchers like me, those who are research making varieties and technologies on that, and others farmers that will be using these technologies and varieties, and they are linked to the traders who can get the material from farmers and finally going for the trading. And there are extractors, this particular root, even though every part of this crop, this plant is being used for medicine, and root is the major material used so far in our country. But nowadays in this COVID situation, the price of root has gone up to 500 to 600 rupees per kilo. Generally, in the beginning, it was about 50 rupees kilo. Then it has gone to 100 and 150 or something like that. But now even the powdered one, the value added one, will be sold in the market at the rate of 110 rupees per 100 grams. That means about 1100 to 1200 rupees per kg when it is made into powder. And if you see the usage of this particular crop, it is being used in multiple combination of other herbals. And if you take about 1 dozen products in the market, you will find at least 80% of the product has ashwagandha is one of the component. And because I already informed that this is having multiple functions. And apart from that, other stock exporters, those who are involving, and pharma companies making the pharmaceuticals using ashwagandha, and as well as Vaidyas. So if you see, there are more than about 6 peoples or 6 stakeholders are involved in this, besides the government, that is the policy makers. So it is an integrated part of all these things together, decides the demand and supply curve. As far as India is concerned, and this crop is initially cultivated majorly in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Gujarat and some portion. But later it has been extended to Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Tamil Nadu, Punjab. Now it is being expanded almost every part of our country. The farmers got some awareness about these particular crops, and the international demand has striked all the exporters to get the more amount of material from those crops. So as a result, this crop is being demanded. If you see the trade, as far as trade is concerned, this is the major areas: Neemach, Delhi, Bangalore, Amritsar and Jaipur. These are the major markets available in the country. Now, apart from the local markets, now if you go to the research part, our ICR is having more than 24 research, total 26 research centers distributed all over the India in the state agriculture universities, and they are all mainly working for all the medicinal plants suited to particular location of their place, and mainly major work is being taken up in ashwagandha also. As on today, in this particular crop, then we have developed good agriculture practices. That means uh, any medicinal plants cultivation needs a special type of package of practices so that the quality will be met out as per the WHO standards. And similarly, standard operating protocols for extraction of the different chemicals has also been standardized for all the chemicals which I has mentioned are in this beginning. And besides, we have the very good genetic resources, more than 1,181 germplasms for ashwagandha, and it is being maintained in different centers, which I have given in the earlier slides. And there are varieties which has been developed. Now, if you see the varieties released so far, that is the Gujarat Ashwagandha 1. It is recently released in 2019. Then RAV 100 JA20, that is Jawahar Ashwagandha 20, and JA 134, Jawahar Ashwagandha 134, and Arka Ashwagandha released from Karnataka from Bangalore Indian Institute for Horticulture Research. And apart from that, two varieties in 2019, last year has been released, is that Vallabh Ashwagandha 1 and Vallabh Ashwagandha 2. These all varieties which has released earlier is having a yellow color berry, that is fruit color is yellow, whereas these two varieties released recently is having a red color berry. So this is the one identification mark we can have. So if you see the variability in this particular crop, very nicely it has a leaf character. You can see how much variation we are having, different type of leaves. And if we consider the growth parameters, how it is being grown, initially up to 90 days, the growth of the plant is very, very, very slow. Okay, here if you see the even dry weight of root, stem, leaf, everything. But after 90 days, that is 3 months, the growth starts very faster. That means if you see the green color, that is the root. So the root is continuously, dry weight is increasing. At the same time, the stem is also simultaneously increasing. If you see, this one is the center line. Okay, so the root is also simultaneously increasing and the stem is also simultaneously increasing. The economic part is root, so we have to concentrate on this particular plant. And if you see the morphological changes also, the root will stops growth after around 150-160 days, almost stops. And whereas the root length, the plant height is also somewhere similar type of pattern it was mentioned. As far as chemical concerned, chemical content is around 100 days, the maximum chemicals are available in that content. Whereas when it is day increases, the maturity, the amount of chemicals is decreasing little bit. However, the decrease of chemical will be compensated by the increase of the root weight. Total yield will not be affected. And it has, we have generated, and I told we have more than 1,181 germplasms. We have screened about 50-60 germplasms, and we could able to find there is a variation in the physiological parameters. A range of variation is low and high in for the different characters like photosynthesis, respiration, conductance, and all. So as I said initially, there were only two type of fruits, that is yellow color and red color. But we have developed two more colors, that is a creamy white and as well as an orange color berry. Initially, the fruits will be about green color almost everywhere. When it grows, then color develops into red or color develops into yellow. Then over maturity brings again back to the brown color in all the cases. So pure line breeding we have started in this. So the major purpose is to generate additional variability, developing early maturing. The variety matures in 150 to 180 days, 5 to 6 months. So the target was to reduce at least 1 or 2 months less, high alkaloid content for export purpose, and similarly resistance to disease and development, and fertilizer responsive. Now the crop is totally a dryland crop. We just throw it. It does not require much chemicals or pesticides and pesticides. So that process was started in 2000. Almost we have done for around 10-12 years research. Then finally we have developed two varieties, that is Vallabh Ashwagandha 1 and Vallabh Ashwagandha 2. Apart from that, these are the lines we have already developed, and it is with us with different characteristics like dwarf plant, brachyment, male sterile plant. I will show the photo later. Different characteristics, broad leaf, yellow leaf, big flowers, and like that. So variation has been developed. And this one particular line is having a yellow color leaves. Generally, leaves of ashwagandha will be green, but this particular line, young leaf will be yellow color. Once it is matures, it converts into light green color. And this genotype is a peculiar genotype, which is having a leaves curling downwards. Generally, in all the varieties, leaves will be turns into upper side. You see, this is going in upper side, whereas this particular line is going to downside. So similarly, wavy type leaf, more waviness, and all these things are there. Other variabilities also, dwarf plant about 10 centimeter height, and the open calyx type, and it is closed, more hairs, light green and dark green. And this particular type is having a very less fibrous root. Like a carrot, we can just break it and eat. So these two, we have taken up one study that what is the genetics of these two characteristics of yellow color and red color. And it has been identified it is a single gene is controlling this procurement type, whereas the two genes is controlling these things. That is a science part of it. Anyhow, some of the characteristics, for example, plant height, we have a dwarf into tall. If you have plant type, if there is a erect type, semi-erect type, spreading type, and totally prostrated, it is just in the Zameen mein pura gunta hai. And the branching pattern also without branch, minimum 2 branches, maybe 3-5 branches, and more than 8-10 branches. Root also without any branches, single root, and multiple roots having these characteristics. Similarly, in calyx, we have the differences like open calyx, fully open, oblong, the shape and size of the berries, and these are the variability we have developed, and it is with us. Leaf, again, we have different shapes, and even the margin, we have different margins, characteristics. Size also broad and narrow and all. Leaf curling, we have the, I already told. So chemical, if you see that variation is very nice, that is 0.08 means 1 per 0.1%, that in more than 0.1516, something like that. So the total variation we are having, the highest content is 0.2 for us, these two characters, withanified A and withanolide A. So this way, very high and low yielding varieties are available with us. And similarly, the range for this much range, this is 0.1 to 1.1% for this particular methanolites, and similarly for alkalides. And so what I want to mean here that for future, for farmers, we have a varieties which can be effectively cultivated, and we can meet out the requirement for the national international levels. So we have done also for the what is called a molecular marker for these particular species, and there are some genotypes which is having showing a molecular markers too, and this is for SSR markers. I was telling earlier, we have developed one plant with male sterility, which will not produce flower, means fruits, but however when we cross with counterpart, it produces seeds. And this is the one which is showing the environmental sensitive male sterility. It depends upon the weather parameters. In summer, it produces berry. In winter, it will not produce berries. So that way, you can use as a hybrid production also in future. And these are some ants and things were they also working with us. So before there are many things we have to be think of it. This slide I want to discuss at the end. Now variety, as far as variety is concerned, we are having good number of varieties. and seed production part to be taken care, because now the demand, earlier the demand was before COVID $6 million per year export from Mumbai, and there are 1,200 exporters available. Among them, there are 20 exporters or major exporters dealing about 80% of the total export. And further, this $6 million now multiplied into 3 times. So around $20 million business is now this in the market. The first thing. Second one is technology. The good agriculture practices, good cultivation practices, and good laboratory practices are already available. We are having sufficient quantities of germplasm and varieties. So post-harvest operation management technology is already developed. But the demand and supply chain, here only there is a niche. In the sense, the farmer get 200 rupees, the end product goes up to 1,000 rupees or sometimes 500 rupees. So in between there is a 200, 300 jump in between. The farmers, the ratio of getting income to the farmer to the industries, there is a big gap. Maybe because of many unorganized selling of the material, that may be the reason. So this demand and supply chain, if it is very clearly known that we want this much quantity of material, the farmers can also effectively utilize. Second point is, this particular crop is having an environmental sensitiveness also. I was talking about chemotype. The chemotype is nothing but, in particular variety, out of these 18 chemicals, one particular chemical will be very high. That means the other chemicals are nil or negligible. Whereas in another variety, the chemical number 2, that is X is Y, another chemical Y may be high in the other variety. And third variety, it will be having a third chemical, and that different type of combinations. So what is mean? If the chemical X is used for antioxidant, so we can cultivate that variety. The another variety X, Y is having a high what is called adaptogenetic activity for brain purpose. We can cultivate that, we can use it like that. So that possibility is one. Another thing is, the stems and roots and leaves also having a different type of chemicals. Some is having methanolites and others are having alkalides. So methanolites and alkalides are having. So what we have a choice with us is that we can utilize even the leaves and stems also for our main purpose. So the farmers will definitely get, if you want to cultivate. Then price. There is always a fluctuation in the price in this market, this particular crop. In this COVID situation also, it started with 200, gone up to 500, it come back to 300, next day it goes to 400, next day it comes to 200, like that. So it is these things. So marketing, we need a very important things are needed. And further, transport and policy. These are the issues needs some amount of discussion. And we are having about 1 ton seeds with us for Jawar ashwagandha, whereas the per acre we need about 3 kg of seeds, so that we can effectively utilize. So what we can do is now, if any farmers or anybody interested, we can ready to supply the seeds and all. This is the number, contact number. I think thank you very much for your kind patience of another 35 minutes. I am ready to answer for your questions, because I have answer for every questions, but what exactly needed by the audience sitting in this is also I should know, so that accordingly. And as far as cultivation is concerned, marketing may not be a problem at this point of time, because the demand has been increased to 3-fold, 4-fold or 6-fold. So, but however, as the case may be with any crop, after some time, once it is saturation comes, then price may come down, but marketing will go, because it's a dry crop. So storage will not be a problem. We can store it for at least 1 year also. In the cold storage, we can go for 2 years also. So that is not the issue. However, because it is having multiple purpose to take our own country into strengthen for the physically well or mentally also well for this particular things. So if you take or consume this particular crop in our India itself, we need still little more to produce in this particular crop. Additionally, when we produce this one in a high quantity, and in USA, this particular crop is going as a functional food, like ashwagandha tea, and they are advertising this one for slim fit. If you take ashwagandha regularly, you will be fit. Your obesity will be reduced or something like that. So there are reports, but what we have to take a lesson from this, that this particular crop can be a wonder crop for cultivation, for taking as a medicine or as a food, as a value-added items. So I used to take this particular crop for last almost 14-15 years, 1 pinch per day, small quantity of maybe 1 milligram, 2 milligrams, something like that, along with hot water or milk. So it has a different combination of works with if you take with milk, one type of result will be there. If you take with honey, it takes another type of the same variety. For reducing the weight, you are taking with honey. When we are going to increase the weight, you take with the milk or something like that. So it is not increasing or decreasing. It will stabilize our weight to the normal of as per our height. That is the major point to be noted here. If you have any doubts, you can mail me at manivelp@yahoo.com, or you can call me at my mobile number 9429543209. I am happy to answer your questions if at all anything. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Manivel, for an excellent and detailed presentation and talk. I now request the participants to ask their questions. We'll also be posting the speaker's contact details in the chat window. Now over to the participants. Dr. Manivel, can you please stop sharing the screen? Your details have been shared in the chat window. Now,
which one you want to share?
No, the screen sharing, your presentation screen.
I have to stop now.
Pardon?
Where to stop? Stop screen, huh?
Screen, yes. Share, that share and all, you can, I think you can put it off. Okay, participants? Yes, participants. From first question from Mr. Pamati.
Okay, thank you, sir. Dr. Manivel said it's very good, very nice and very exhaustive presentation. From Tamil Nadu, it's like a brinjal variety, isn't it? The Solanaceae family.
It looks like a brinjal Solanaceae family. It's a dry crop, and it is 150 days duration, about 5 months crop. Initially, the seeds will germinate after 7 to 14 days. The growth will be very slow as compared to the weeds. If weed is growing 5 centimeter, it will grow only 1 centimeter. After 60 days, this plant will grow very faster than the weeds. So one has to take very maximum care during first 2 months of time. After that, you forget about nothing. You just go home and you come back, and after 5 months, you can harvest the crop. That is a very hardy crop. It never likes water. If you give more water, it will die in the beginning. So more particularly in this particular, I have a problem now because we have taken 10 acres of land now cultivation because of this continuously rain in Tamil Nadu for last 10 days without any sunshine. So some of the plants is being dying now. So we are trying to.
Is there any seasonality for this, or it can grow at any year?
As far as cultivation is concerned, in North India, this crop can be cultivated after August, after the rainy season is over. The last month of last rain, usually in Madhya Pradesh, this crop is being cultivated as a rain-fed crop in a black cotton soil. After the rain, end of the rain, like Bengal, that is Sundal, Bengal gram, or what is called this kotamali, coriander or something like that. So it's a dry crop. One or two rains will be sufficient for them for up to growing up to 40 days. One weeding they will do. After that, it will grows in the what is called dew. That is in the January up to December, November, December, January, February. That temperature will be very low. So that is going like that. Whereas
Okay,
for
so we
Tamil
can-
Nadu in North India, we have to delay our sowing up to November, because our
Okay.
rainy season is it is in the peak now. So from
So,
second fortnight of November, that is after 15th November to 15th December is the best season to sow. That is, if it is called exactly ICAR-CTRI. Okay.
okay.
So
Sir,
this is the
can
best season.
now it's raining here. It's you said November is a good time to sow it. So usually we hear the groundnut season here for the November and December, Kartigai.
After harvesting the groundnut, we can go for in the same field. After harvesting the groundnut, it will go for the same field. You will get a better result because of the groundnut crop. First
Okay,
thing.
okay, thank you.
The
I can
spacing
do it. I
between
can try it.
plants, spacing between the plants is only 5 to 10 centimeter.
Okay, okay. So what is the
And
cost of seeds per kg? Per kg seed cost?
per kg is 495 rupees.
Okay, okay. So I will contact you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, you can contact my number. We can give you. And this time in Tamil Nadu, 1,500 farmers are planting. One farmer, 1 acre each. There are some farmers gone up to 300 acres, 30 acres also. Very few. So the demand
What
is
is the
so
root is
huge. And
value is there, or the head plant leaf or stem or value you have?
okay, just a minute. I'll put my battery on. It is down. Yeah. So now the cost of this particular plant is like this. For example, we estimate or expect that 150 to 250 rupees for the root. And now the stem and leaves going up to 70 rupees, but we expect about 30 rupees at the end. And the berries and seeds will be sold in the market. At that time, it will be going as a animal feed around 40-50 rupees. So if you consider all together, per acre expenditure will be 10,000 rupees per acre, including seed cost and weeding and harvesting. And you will get minimum 30,000 rupees, maximum 1 lakh rupees. Okay, it's all major dependent characters. Number one, population should be maintained properly, that is 5 centimeter to 10 centimeter per plant. Then secondly, weeding should be taken in right time, in right direction, the first beginning itself. And thirdly, and if there is a demand of water in between, one irrigation may be given. That's all. Remaining thing will be that 500 kg per acre is confirmed. If you take 500 kg per acre, then you just calculate 150 rupees also, you just calculate what will be the price.
Okay.
If it is
So
300
what
rupees,
name in Tamil? Sir, show the name in Tamil.
Amukra.
Amukra Karangu. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank
Kelangi,
you.
sometimes we call it as, it is Amukra ware actually. Kelangi is actually not, it's only where root is being used, not as
I understand, but it's a colloquial name. Okay, thank you.
yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you. Next question from Mr. Mohan. Mr. Mohan.
Thank you, Mr. Lakshmipati.
You're welcome.
Dr. P. Manivel is excellent and very professional, detailed explanation regarding ashwagandha. But my question is, if it is so much demand for the exports, why outside the India, even farmers or entrepreneurs not cultivating this type of crop? And what is the guarantee assurance for the local farmers to get a boost or marketing for this particular product? So if any local farmers, if they cultivate 1 acre, 2 acre to 10 acres, is there any assurance market facility for the local farmers?
The first question is that USA started cultivating 10 acres this time immediately. Okay. Second thing is Pakistan, and because this crop is native of India, so if at all they want to take up sowing from Indian government, they have to have the bilateral agreement to get the material. Moving seeds from one place to another place is not that much easy like this era of IPR. However, there are some bilateral agreement, and for research and other purposes, the people have started using it. That is why I am told in my beginning slides, there is an what is called if you go for SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunities and threats. In the threats column, we can easily note, if you are not awakening now, somebody will be definitely from Pakistan, from Afghanistan, or from some African country. People will definitely grow this one, and they will come in competition in the international market. But fortunately, The low temperature and the wide varietal and soil climate of India is the favoring us for getting a higher yield in the international market. And the companies who are purchasing are two types of companies. One is for functional food purpose, they just go for it, oil it, grind it, and go for mixing with the different combinations, making even including biscuits. Whereas another group is for pharma groups, they extract this one, whole extract can be taken and going used it. But the extraction further fractioning of chemicals is done by some other groups of companies, international companies. What I expect is India will nowadays we are exporting only a raw drug or raw extract to the international market, and that should be because it's a very costly affair. Going for either water extraction, ethanol extraction, or CO2 supercritical extraction, everything goes about crores of rupees for investment. And there are so many companies, and they also want to make money. Already they are making money, but they want to make money on this particular point of time. Because of internet and all, we know the each and every information is already spread very fast in that. So now they are ready to go for giving agreement from 150 to 200 rupees within the before even sowing itself. There are companies ready for it, and there are local markets. But at the time of harvesting, what will happen? If you make an agreement with one particular company for 180 rupees, at the time of harvest, there will be a demand. Third party will come, they will offer you 250 rupees. Definitely you will give to that fellow, and this fellow will be in the trouble. So, but nowadays this contract farming has become legal. They will put you in court and you have to face the consequences. But while going for a contract farming, you put a rider there. If the market rate is going beyond this much percentage high, you will be increasing 10%, 20% profit to me. Or the market prices comes to 100, I am ready to sacrifice 20 rupees from myself. Like that, you have to, while putting a memorandum or this things, one has to be very clear. Then this problem will be solved. And marketing may not be a problem for at least another 2-3 years. And this year will be the bumper yield and good profit year for those who are cultivating ashwagandha properly.
And how about land, Mr. Manivel?
Land, I have one YouTube channel called Sky Manivel, SKYMANIVEL, Sky Manivel. In that, I have put more than 1 dozen videos for cultivation of ashwagandha in Hindi, English, Tamil, and other languages also. So you can watch it. But in short, it needs a thorough preparation of land in the beginning. Then if you have a problem of weeding, you can go for 30 centimeter between lines and 10 centimeter between plants. Line sowing, putting the seeds in the lines and just slightly covering it and getting irrigation. Or raised bed system and throw the seeds by hand broadcasting, and you can give the irrigation and maintain. Or simple broadcasting with the help of hands like things, and you can go for weeding and all. So this is sowing method. As far as fertilizer are concerned, generally we are not giving any fertilizers. It comes very nicely with the available moisture and materials. Pesticides are concerned, it won't affect any particular diseases or pest. However, one particular beetle will come in the beginning. If you observe the scraping the leaves, we just kill the beetles by just hand picking in the beginning itself. It will be controlled. If you miss it, then it will increase the population, so that will mostly scrap the leaves. If it is attacks after 60 days, no problem, it can be able to escape because the population will go faster. If it is before 60 days, one has to be taken care by spraying some neem oil or some neem products or some panchakavya. Even sometimes water, even with this is cow urine will work very nicely to repellent for this particular pest. Otherwise, harvesting is just pulling it and cutting it to different pieces with the stem up separate, leaf separate, or something like that. So that's an easy process. Drying is shade drying and sun drying, both is practiced in India. If you go for organic cultivation, then shade drying is best. And if you register your field with organic, in the coming years, after 2-3 years, the organic ashwagandha will get more price, as well as the sustainable production will be there. That's I want to mentioned here.
Any entrepreneur like me, and if I want to go for exclusively excellent quality for export purpose, and my company itself, because I have an export company where I'm exporting to USA and Caribbean islands, 5 acres or 10 acres, if I want to cultivate undernet or maybe green shed technology, is it advisable? The statistics will work out, doctor?
101% is advisable. One of my, like you, I have one entrepreneur in Tamil Nadu, in the Vedasandur districts. He is having a 40 acres of totally organic land. The organic land means real organic, means first layer of trees and one and another 2 layers of other plants. Then inside there is a 40 acres of land. So that is being visited by the particularly the European country peoples, and they have the very good combinations. Whatever they want from them, they will ask for producing organic produce. So this time that entrepreneur is producing 3 crops: tulsi, ashwagandha, and lemongrass under these particular conditions what you are talking, and they are giving a very good price. So the price is already fixed, so they are already growing and they are doing it. So that will work. Only problem here is the others are not having contact in the foreign countries. You are already having one lucky things, or otherwise you can also directly having a relation with any of the NGO or FPO, farmers producing organizations. I told we are having 1,500 farmers going to cultivate this year, and there are companies from Bangalore are ready to pay even 1,180 rupees in this point of time. So you can also link having with any of this FPO, ask them to produce organically also with certifications. Then you are already having a linkage with our America and other things. They won't be much only in European countries, they very stringently they will look anything. So you can definitely make money, and you can give that benefit to the farmers too, so that sustainably your company will grow.
Thanks, Doctor. Definitely, I will be in touch with you after this session.
Yeah, I am
Thank you.
happy to serve you. I am happy to serve you.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions, participants? Any questions from others? Mr. Brito has got a question.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Buddhi. Thank you, Dr. Manivel, for a professional and thorough presentation. See, I would like to know whether you also have with you this GAP, Good Agriculture Practices, to be followed.
Yeah,
is that available with
I
you?
have shown in one of my slides that booklet is there available for good agriculture practice. We prepared, and I have one. I can share you the PDF format to you if you want, and it is already
Yes,
available
please.
in DMAPR website and free also. Okay, so
Which website?
that is available. DMAPR, Directorate of Medicinal and Aromatic Plant Research, Anand, where I was working as a director. Okay.
Okay.
So that is available for
Okay.
almost 9-11 crops we have made it, and the ashwagandha is also one of the crop we have done. So GAP is already there, and that you can
Okay.
follow. And we have a video for that also, how to go for it and all. So everything is available on online free.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
additionally,
Doctor.
if you are not able to locate, you can just I am there to give you service.
Yeah, we'll be in touch with you. Definitely.
People call me a nickname Indian ashwagandha man.
Okay, very nice.
You deserve
Very
it,
nice.
Doctor. And Dr. Suresh Dagar.
Yes, I have a question. Could you recommend the suitable? There are so many seeds, and it's so complicated to choose which is the right one. What would be suitable for Maharashtra, where we have very heavy monsoon for 3 months? So, can you recommend which seeds we can use for that place?
Almost every variety can be grown everywhere, sir. But however, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, where we have little amount of rain more during this particular later part of time. So last year we have taken up 3-4 varieties. In that our latest variety, Vallabh Ashwagandha 1, has withstood the water stagnation for almost 1 month. So that is why the Karnataka, that is a border of Maharashtra, farmers were very happy, and they said we want to go for this variety next year. But fortunately or unfortunately, because the variety was released only last year, the seeds availability is very less during this point of time. We have 2000 kg demand already. So we have already planted 10 acres of land for seed production. So possibly we will be able to supply after 3 months of this particular variety. But now what we are having in our hand is around 1 ton seeds are available ready to dispatch is Jawahar ashwagandha that was released earlier dates. If you plant this Jawahar ashwagandha in a closer spacing of 10 centimeter, the roots will go directly straight. If you plant a wider spacing, the root will go, side root will come. So then the fetching market price will be low. Even though chemical is not going to change, but the look will decide the price in the market. So we can go for this variety. A little delay sowing, maybe in the November end sowing will perfectly work for Maharashtra.
So,
Thank you.
so I just understand that right now the Jawahar ashwagandha is available, and later on, so we can plant this now, and for further planting, we can use your Vallabh number 1.
Yeah, Vallabh ashwagandha we can definitely get next year. It will be once you get from my seed next year, you can produce your own seeds from that. You can use it also. Actually, what happens, sir? Suddenly overnight it has become hero. Even though it was a hero for a long time, but everybody knows he is a hero. So demand for seed increases. Now the seed which I am having is got from Gujarat, not a pure seed. I tell you, it is not a pure seed. It is taken from the farmers only. But Vallabh ashwagandha is already in the seed released variety. So we are producing a pure seed after getting license from the government. So that will be, if you take 100 plant, all 100 plant will be same. But here, if you take 100 plant, there may be 10, 20 plants may be different. So, but we are not having other choice now. That's the only situation.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, sir. We will get in touch and give you the order.
Sure.
Thank you all. Thank you all the participants. And we have now completed the round of questions, looks like. I'd like to thank the speaker, Dr. Manivel, on behalf of Agriculture Information, for taking his time to speak with us with a very, very detailed presentation and talk. I now request the organizer of the meeting, Ms. Rajini Jain, to please close the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lakshmipati. I'd like to thank the speaker, Dr. P. Manivel, for taking the time to talk with us. I also like to thank all the participants for their time. The meeting will now be closed.